Most gardeners assume you need pots, potting mix, and constant watering schedules to grow fresh herbs at home. But what if I told you a simple glass of water is all it takes? After 3 decades of growing herbs, I have discovered 20 that root and regrow so quickly in water, you may never reach for soil again. Stick around for number 16, watercress, and a bonus tip that changes everything. The first herb on our list is basil, and there is a good reason it tops this lineup. Genovese basil, in particular, roots extremely fast in water, often sprouting visible roots within 5 to 10 days. To get started, snip a 4 to 6 inch cutting just below a leaf node, remove the lower leaves so they will not sit in the water, and place the stem in a clear glass or jar. Set it on a sunny windowsill where it receives at least 6 hours of bright light each day. Change the water every 2 to 3 days to keep it fresh and prevent bacterial buildup. Once roots reach about 2 inches long, you can keep harvesting right from the water or transplant into soil if you prefer. Basil grown this way stays productive for weeks, giving you a steady supply for caprese salads, pesto, and fresh summer dishes. For gardeners in zones 9 through 11, basil can grow as a perennial outdoors, but everywhere else, this countertop water method keeps it thriving indoors year-round. The second herb that belongs in every water garden is mint, and spearmint is the variety I recommend most. Mint roots so aggressively in water that you will see white roots forming within just a few days of placing a cutting in a jar. Take a healthy stem about 4 to 5 inches long, strip the bottom leaves, and submerge the lower 2 inches in room temperature water. Place it near a window with bright, indirect light. Mint tolerates lower light better than many herbs, which makes it forgiving for beginners. Refresh the water every couple of days to keep oxygen levels high and prevent algae growth. One of the best things about growing mint in water is that it stays contained. In the garden, mint spreads relentlessly through underground runners, but in a jar on your counter, it behaves itself. You can snip leaves whenever you need them for tea, mojitos, fruit salads, or homemade mint sauce. Spearmint thrives across zones 3 through 11, so almost every gardener can grow it outdoors in summer and transition to water propagation indoors when temperatures drop. The third entry on our list is green onions, also called scallions, and these might be the fastest regrowers of all. The variety Evergreen Hardy White is an excellent choice because of its reliable vigor. To regrow green onions, simply save the root ends from a store-bought bunch, leaving about 1 to 2 inches of the white base attached. Place them root side down in a shallow glass with just enough water to cover the roots, but not the entire cutting. Set them in a bright spot, and within 2 to 3 days, you will notice new green shoots emerging from the top. Change the water daily to keep it clean and prevent any unpleasant odors. In less than 2 weeks, you can harvest fresh green tops for salads, soups, stir-fries, and baked potatoes. Some gardeners get 3 or 4 harvests from a single set of roots before the energy runs out. Green onions grow well in zones 3 through 10, making them accessible to nearly everyone. This simple kitchen scrap regrowth method is perfect for gardeners who want instant gratification without any fuss. Now, if you're finding this video helpful so far, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps this video reach more gardeners like yourself, who would also find this information helpful. All right, let's continue. The fourth herb we need to talk about is garlic chives, and the geisha variety is a standout performer. Garlic chives combine a mild garlic flavor with the ease of traditional chives, and they regrow beautifully in water. Start with a clump that still has roots attached, or take fresh cuttings from an established plant. Place the root end in a jar with about 1 inch of water, ensuring the leaves stay above the water line. Within a week or 2, you will see new leaves pushing up from the center. Keep the jar in a sunny window and change the water every few days to maintain freshness. Garlic chives are hardy in zones 3 through 9, so they handle cold climates well when grown outdoors. Indoors in water, they stay compact and produce enough leaves for garnishing eggs, soups, dumplings, and cream cheese spreads. The subtle garlic undertone adds depth without overpowering a dish. Because garlic chives regrow from their base rather than from stem cuttings alone, they offer a reliable and nearly continuous harvest as long as you keep the roots healthy and the water clean. The fifth herb on our list is lemongrass, and East Indian lemongrass is the variety that performs best for water propagation. This tropical favorite is surprisingly easy to regrow from a single stalk. Look for fresh lemongrass at the grocery store or farmer's market, choosing stalks that still have the base intact. Trim off the top portion, leaving about 3 to 4 inches of the lower stalk, and place it root end down in a glass of water. Position it in a warm, sunny spot because lemongrass loves heat and bright light. Within 1 to 3 weeks, you will notice roots forming at the base and new green shoots emerging from the top. Change the water every few days to prevent stagnation. Lemongrass is hardy only in zones 9 through 11, but growing it in water indoors allows gardeners in colder regions to enjoy it year-round. The fragrant stalks are perfect for Thai soups, curries, teas, and marinades. Once your lemongrass develops a strong root system, you can continue growing it in water or transfer it to a pot of soil. Either way, you will have a steady supply of this aromatic herb right on your kitchen counter. The sixth herb worth growing in water is oregano, and Greek oregano is the variety I trust most for flavor and reliability. Oregano roots readily from soft stem cuttings, making it an excellent candidate for water propagation. Take a cutting about 4 to 6 inches long from a healthy plant, snipping just below a leaf node. Remove the leaves from the bottom half of the stem so they do not rot in the water. Place the cutting in a small jar filled with fresh water and set it in a location that receives bright, indirect sunlight. Roots typically appear within 1 to 2 weeks. Once established, oregano will continue producing new leaves that you can harvest for pizza, pasta sauces, Greek salads, and roasted vegetables. Change the water every few days to keep it oxygenated and clear. Greek oregano thrives in zones 4 through 10 when grown outdoors, but indoors in water it adapts well to most home environments. The key is providing enough light and keeping the water fresh. With minimal effort, you can maintain a productive oregano cutting for months. The seventh herb that deserves a spot in your water garden is rosemary, and Tuscan Blue is a variety known for its upright growth and robust flavor. Rosemary has a reputation for being tricky to propagate, but water rooting simplifies the process considerably. Select a softwood cutting from new growth, about 4 to 6 inches in length, and strip the lower leaves. Place the stem in a jar of water and position it where it will receive plenty of bright light, ideally near a south-facing window. Rosemary roots more slowly than mint or basil, often taking 3 to 4 weeks before you see significant root development. Patience is important here. Change the water every few days and watch for any signs of stem rot, removing affected cuttings promptly. Once roots are well established, rosemary can remain in water for continued growth or move to soil for a more permanent home. This Mediterranean herb is hardy in zones 7 through 10 and pairs wonderfully with roasted meats, potatoes, breads, and olive oil. Growing rosemary in water gives you a fragrant, attractive countertop plant that doubles as a culinary staple. The eighth entry on our list is thyme, and English thyme is a classic variety with excellent flavor and compact growth. Thyme roots fairly quickly in water, making it a rewarding herb for countertop propagation. Choose healthy stems about 3 to 5 inches long and remove the tiny leaves from the bottom inch or so. Place the cuttings in a small jar with enough water to cover the stripped portion of the stem. Set the jar in a bright location as thyme appreciates plenty of light. Roots usually appear within 2 weeks, sometimes sooner under ideal conditions. Once rooted, thyme stays compact and tidy, perfect for small spaces like kitchen windowsills. Harvest sprigs as needed for soups, stews, roasted chicken, and vegetable dishes. English thyme is hardy in zones 4 through 9, so it tolerates a range of outdoor climates. But growing it in water indoors means you can enjoy fresh thyme any time of year, regardless of the weather outside. Keep the water fresh by changing it every few days, and your thyme cutting will reward you with steady growth and aromatic leaves. The ninth herb we need to cover is sage, and Berggarten sage is a wonderful variety for water propagation because of its large rounded leaves and vigorous growth. Sage roots best from soft young stems rather than older woody growth. Take a cutting about 4 to 5 inches long, remove the lower leaves, and place it in a jar of room temperature water. Position the jar where it will receive bright light for several hours each day. Sage may take a bit longer to root than some herbs on this list, typically 2 to 3 weeks, so patience pays off. Once roots develop, sage continues producing new leaves without any soil at all. This herb is a staple in autumn and winter cooking, perfect for stuffing, butternut squash dishes, sausage, and brown butter sauces. Berggarten sage is hardy in zones 4 through 10, making it adaptable to a wide range of outdoor gardens, but keeping a cutting in water on your counter ensures you always have fresh leaves within reach. Change the water regularly to prevent cloudiness and keep your sage cutting healthy and productive throughout the season. The 10th herb on our list is cilantro, and the slow bolt variety is the one I recommend for water growing because it resists flowering longer than other types. Cilantro can be a bit finicky compared to hardier herbs like mint, but it still roots in water with the right approach. Take fresh stems with healthy leaves about 4 inches long and remove the lower foliage before placing them in a jar of water. Set the jar in a spot with bright but indirect light, as cilantro prefers cooler conditions and can struggle in intense heat. Roots may take 1 to 2 weeks to develop. Keep in mind that cilantro grown in water is best for short-term harvests rather than long-term production. The leaves tend to lose vigor after several weeks, so plan to take fresh cuttings periodically to maintain a steady supply. Cilantro grows well in zones 3 through 10 outdoors and adds bright, citrusy flavor to salsas, guacamole, curries, and Asian dishes. For gardeners who use cilantro frequently, keeping a few stems rooting in water at all times ensures you never run out. Change the water every couple of days to keep it fresh and give your cilantro the best chance at healthy growth. The 11th herb that works well in water is parsley, and Italian flat-leaf parsley is the variety I prefer for its robust flavor and tender leaves. Parsley can regrow in water with moderate success, though it requires a bit more attention than faster rooting herbs. Start with fresh stems that still have some of the lower stalk attached, and remove any leaves that would sit below the water line. Place the cuttings in a jar and position it in a bright window where it receives at least 4 to 6 hours of light daily. Roots develop slowly with parsley, sometimes taking 2 to 3 weeks, so do not give up too soon. Once rooted, the plant will continue producing new leaves for harvesting. Parsley is a kitchen workhorse, essential for tabbouleh, chimichurri, soups, salads, and garnishes. It thrives in zones 4 through 9 when grown outdoors, but adapts nicely to indoor water growing during colder months. The key to success is keeping the water clean and providing enough light. Change the water every 2 to 3 days and trim any yellowing leaves promptly. With patience, you can enjoy fresh parsley from your countertop without ever planting a seed. The 12th herb we need to discuss is peppermint, and black mitchum is the variety prized for its strong menthol flavor and vigorous growth. Like its spearmint cousin, peppermint roots incredibly fast in water, often showing visible roots within just a few days. Take a cutting about 4 to 5 inches long, strip the lower leaves, and place it in a jar of fresh water. Peppermint tolerates a range of light conditions, from bright indirect light to partial shade, making it forgiving for different kitchen setups. Change the water every 2 to 3 days to keep oxygen levels high and prevent algae from forming. Peppermint spreads aggressively in the garden through underground runners, which is why many gardeners prefer growing it in containers or in water where it stays controlled. The leaves are perfect for herbal tea, desserts, chocolate dishes, and even homemade remedies for upset stomachs. Peppermint is hardy across zones 3 through 11, so it thrives almost anywhere outdoors, but keeping a jar on your counter means fresh leaves are always within reach. This is one of the easiest herbs to grow in water, making it ideal for beginners who want quick success and abundant harvests. The 13th entry on our list is lemon balm, and the Quedlinburger Niederliegende variety is an excellent choice for its compact growth and strong lemon scent. As a member of the mint family, lemon balm shares the same enthusiasm for rooting in water. Take a healthy stem cutting about 4 to 6 inches long, remove the bottom leaves, and place it in a jar of room temperature water. Set it near a window with bright, indirect light. Roots typically appear within 1 to 2 weeks, and once established, lemon balm continues growing happily without soil. The leaves have a gentle citrus flavor that works beautifully in teas, lemonade, fruit salads, and light summer desserts. Lemon balm is also known for its calming properties, making it a favorite for evening herbal infusions. This herb is hardy in zones 4 through 9, handling cold winters outdoors with ease. But growing it in water indoors lets you harvest fresh leaves year-round. Change the water every few days to maintain freshness and encourage healthy root development. Lemon balm is wonderfully low maintenance, and its cheerful lemon fragrance brightens any kitchen. The 14th herb worth trying in water is tarragon, and French tarragon is the variety every serious cook should grow. Unlike Russian tarragon, which lacks flavor, French tarragon offers a distinctive anise taste that elevates chicken dishes, eggs, salad dressings, and classic French sauces like béarnaise. Tarragon roots a bit more slowly than mint family herbs, but soft summer cuttings taken from new growth root fairly well in water. Select stems about 4 to 5 inches long, remove the lower leaves, and place them in a jar with fresh water. Position the jar in a bright spot, though tarragon tolerates some indirect light. Expect roots to develop within 2 to 4 weeks. Once rooted, tarragon can continue growing in water for extended periods, providing leaves for regular harvesting. This herb is hardy in zones 4 through 9 and prefers well-drained conditions when grown outdoors. In water, the key is changing the water frequently to prevent stagnation. Tarragon has a refined flavor that adds elegance to many dishes, and growing it in water on your windowsill means you always have access to fresh sprigs whenever a recipe calls for them. The 15th herb on our list is Stevia, and the sugar leaf variety is the one I recommend for home gardeners who want a natural sweetener right from the windowsill. Stevia roots well from young cuttings placed in water, making it an accessible option for anyone looking to reduce sugar in their diet. Take a cutting about 4 inches long from soft new growth, remove the lower leaves, and place it in a jar of fresh water. Set the jar in a warm location with bright light, as Stevia loves warmth and sunshine. Roots typically develop within 2 to 3 weeks. Once established, Stevia continues producing sweet leaves that you can harvest and use fresh or dried. A single leaf adds noticeable sweetness to tea, smoothies, and homemade lemonade without any calories. Stevia is hardy only in zones 9 through 11, so gardeners in cooler climates must grow it as an annual outdoors or keep it going indoors in water year-round. Change the water every few days to prevent bacteria from building up. Growing Stevia in water is a simple way to have a continuous supply of natural sweetness right at your fingertips. The 16th herb we need to talk about is watercress, and this one is special because it actually prefers growing in water. Upland watercress is an excellent variety that thrives in moist conditions and regrows quickly after cutting. Unlike most herbs that tolerate water but prefer soil, watercress is naturally aquatic and feels right at home submerged in a shallow dish or jar. To get started, place fresh watercress stems with roots attached in a container of water, or simply set cuttings in water and wait for roots to form within a week or two. Keep the container in a cool spot with bright indirect light, as watercress does not enjoy intense heat. Change the water every couple of days to keep it fresh and oxygenated. Watercress is hardy in zones 6 through 9 and grows vigorously in cool, moist environments. The peppery leaves are packed with vitamins and add a fresh, slightly spicy bite to salads, sandwiches, soups, and smoothies. Because watercress naturally thrives in water, it requires less adjustment than other herbs and delivers consistent harvests with minimal effort. This is one herb that truly never needs soil. The 17th entry on our list is celery tops, and while technically a vegetable, celery regrows its leafy greens so quickly in water that it earns a place alongside herbs. The Pascal giant variety produces vigorous tops perfect for flavoring soups, stews, and stocks. To regrow celery, save the base from a store-bought bunch, leaving about 2 inches of the bottom attached. Place it cut side up in a shallow dish with enough water to cover the roots but not the entire base. Set it in a sunny window and watch new leaves emerge from the center within just a few days. Change the water daily to prevent odors and keep the base from becoming slimy. The regrown leaves have the same celery flavor as the stalks and work beautifully as an herb substitute in cooking. Celery is hardy in zones 4 through 10, making it widely adaptable for outdoor gardens, but regrowing it indoors in water is a year-round option that costs nothing. After several weeks, the regrowth will slow as the base runs out of stored energy, but you can simply start again with a fresh celery bunch and repeat the process. The 18th herb that can root in water is chervil, and the Vertissimo variety is prized for its delicate, lacy leaves and subtle anise flavor. Chervil is a classic French herb often used in fine herbs blends alongside parsley, tarragon, and chives. It roots in water, though growth tends to be slower and more delicate than hardier herbs. Take fresh stems about 3 to 4 inches long, remove the lower leaves, and place them in a small jar of water. Position the jar in a cool spot with bright but indirect light, as chervil prefers mild temperatures and can bolt quickly in heat. Roots may take 2 to 3 weeks to appear, so patience is essential. Once rooted, harvest leaves sparingly to avoid stressing the plant. Chervil pairs wonderfully with eggs, fish, salads, and creamy sauces. It is hardy in zones 3 through 7, preferring cooler climates where it can thrive without bolting. Growing chervil in water indoors allows gardeners in warmer regions to enjoy this delicate herb without the challenge of summer heat. Keep the water fresh and give your chervil gentle care for the best results. The 19th herb on our list is marjoram, and sweet marjoram is the variety known for its warm, slightly sweet flavor that complements Mediterranean and Middle Eastern dishes. Marjoram roots with moderate success in water, especially when grown in warm indoor conditions. Take cuttings about 4 inches long from healthy stems, strip the lower leaves, and place them in a jar of fresh water. Position the jar in a bright, warm spot, as marjoram appreciates warmth and good light. Rooting may take 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes a bit longer, so give it time before expecting results. Once roots develop, marjoram continues producing soft, aromatic leaves perfect for seasoning lamb, poultry, vegetables, and tomato sauces. This herb is hardy in zones 7 through 10 when grown outdoors but performs well indoors in water where temperatures stay consistent. Change the water every few days to maintain freshness and encourage strong root growth. Marjoram has a gentler flavor than oregano, making it versatile for dishes where you want subtle herbal notes without overpowering other ingredients. With a little patience, you can keep marjoram growing in water on your counter throughout the year. The 20th and final herb on our list is dill, and bouquet dill is the variety I recommend for its feathery foliage and classic flavor. Dill can root in water, though it requires a gentle touch, because the stems are more fragile than sturdier herbs like rosemary or thyme. Take fresh cuttings about 4 inches long, choosing stems that look healthy and vibrant. Remove any lower leaves and place the stems in a jar with room temperature water. Set the jar in a bright spot with good light, but avoid harsh direct sun that could stress the delicate foliage. Roots may appear within 2 to 3 weeks, though dill in water is best suited for short-term regrowth rather than long-term harvests. The leaves tend to weaken over time, so plan to refresh your cuttings periodically for a continuous supply. Dill is hardy in zones 3 through 7 and adds a distinctive tangy flavor to pickles, salmon, potato salads, yogurt sauces, and cucumber dishes. For gardeners who love dill and use it often, keeping a few stems rooting in water ensures you always have fresh fronds on hand. Handle it gently, change the water every few days, and enjoy this aromatic herb straight from your countertop. And now for the bonus tip gardeners swear by. If you want your water-rooted herbs to thrive for as long as possible, the secret is using the right kind of water. Tap water often contains chlorine and chloramines, which can slow root development and stress delicate cuttings. Instead, try using filtered water, spring water, or simply let tap water sit uncovered for 24 hours before using it. This allows the chlorine to dissipate naturally. Another trick is to add a tiny drop of liquid seaweed fertilizer to the water once roots have formed. This gives your herbs a gentle nutrient boost without overwhelming them. Just a drop or 2 per jar is all you need. Finally, keep your jars clean by washing them with hot soapy water every week or 2 to prevent algae and bacterial buildup. These simple steps can extend the life of your water-grown herbs by weeks or even months, giving you more harvests and healthier plants with very little extra effort. Try it once, and you will never go back to plain tap water again. Thanks for sticking with me through the entire video. If you found this helpful, give it a like, subscribe for more gardening tips, and check out our other videos on growing a better garden.